Hello everyone, it is Becky here from Ivy's Corner and I am excited to bring to you my final video in Inktober Tangles 2025. I can't believe we are finally all the way through this whole month of tangling. It's been an absolute pleasure. We still have one more final tangle to go, and that is another HQ tangle, and that is going to be Idoz, which was a tangle that was created in honour of the International Day of Zentangle, which began I think in 2024 as a kind of a 20-year anniversary. The 15th of July was designated International Day of Zentangle, and to honour that, Rick and Maria and the team at Zentangle HQ created a special tangle for us to use. So I'm going to be drawing that one for you today. That is the final tangle in our little selection that Stephanie Jennifer has put together for us. And so I'm going to open up my booklet at my final page, and we are going to draw the tangle Idoz. Now you might have come across it before. Essentially it's just a lot of lovely overlapping shapes, lots of tethered auras to create some real depth in a pattern. So I'm going to start off by drawing a nice chunky sort of teardrop shape, like so. And then I'm going to do another couple. So we're going to start from over here and do another one that's going to sit beneath this pattern, this first one, and then maybe one more that's going to come, and I'm using the hollow ball technique to draw behind, imagining where it would go beneath the other ones that we've drawn. And now once we've done that, we're going to start taking off from the ends of our teardrop shapes and then bumping those in to the outside here. So I'm going to do that on both sides. And I'm going to just step and repeat this really all the way around each of my different petal shapes that kind of sit behind one another. And I'm not going to bring these lines in quite in here. I think as I will move through the pattern, I might start to bring this line, for example here, I'm going to tuck it in there. And bring those lines to kind of a curve and an end before as they reach these kind of joining points here. But you can also just bring it up to kind of land against the other lines that we've created. And we're just going to add these repeating kind of tethered auras. They're tethered to the end here, so we start in the same place and then bring it out. And we just can continue to add these lovely aura lines really. And it creates this really fun kind of pattern that is weaving in and out of itself and layering. And you can continue this as long as you like really, but I think I'm going to call it there. In the step out, we do then add another kind of line like so in the middle, and you can add some nice orbs in there, but that's not 100% necessary. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. I'm going to add that in just to the top one here. But you can also use these as kind of a reticular for other patterns if you wanted to. There's nothing to say that you can't do that. The Zentangle police, I always say to my people in my membership, the Zentangle police aren't going to come after you, so you can do whatever you like. And you can just add maybe some like texture lines as well, might be nice. Almost creating like a little seed pod almost. I think I might do that to the top ones here as well. And just really lifting that pen to create this textured line. So we're just adding that little bit of texture there. So once we've done our pen work, it's time to add our graphite, and obviously anywhere that you have these lines converging together in one place really does lend itself to plenty of shading. And likewise, when you have these lines that stop and overlap and interweave, that's also a really lovely place to add your shading to. So you can kind of go ahead and place a nice chunk of shade there, and anywhere where these kind of pods or teardrop shapes overlay their neighbours is another good place to add a nice chunk of graphite to create a little bit of depth and interest. You can also maybe shade around the top ones like so. And then obviously in here I've got my orbs nestled, so I shall add a little bit of shade to that. And then we can just go ahead and soften all of that graphite. And it's a fun pattern to end on, a fun tangle to draw a celebratory tangle for 20 years of Zentangle and the International Day of Zentangle, which is now in our diary every year. So obviously my paper is extremely delicate, so I'm just being very gentle with my blending here, but that gives you an idea of Idoz and how versatile it is as a tangle. And so we are now at the very end of Inktober Tangles 2025. So this is day 31, Idoz, and this is by Zentangle HQ. And there we have it. I'm going to do a little wrap-up video just to talk through everything that I've worked through in Inktober Tangles 2025 and show you my large piece as well once I finish that. But thank you so much for following along with all of these videos. You can have a little bit back through the playlist and revisit any of the patterns that you worked through beforehand, any that you weren't sure of. If you've just discovered me now, you can look back at all the playlists, they're all saved together. I've got lots and lots of links in the description for other ways that you can follow what I'm up to. I'm going to be posting a blog all about my experience of Inktober as well, and showing you everything that I've done. But don't forget to hit like and subscribe to my channel, because there's going to be even more stuff coming from me even after we've finished Inktober Tangles 2025. But thank you so much for following along, and I will see you in the wrap-up video.